reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're listening to LotRO Reporter on the MMO Reporter Network. Brought to you by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapons with Doghouse Systems. Audible. Find your next great read at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And GoDaddy. Put your website to work while you play. Welcome to LotRO Reporter, episode 252. I am Cari, and I am joined once again by Layanor. He unfired himself, and is back. Hi, Layanor.
Kung Pao. I am Ninja. Whoa!
Yeah, fired him, and he's back the next week.
That is right. Hello, minions. I see we have minions in the chat room tonight.
We do.
And I'm seeing something about Middle-earth Network going away.
Yeah, I had not heard that. We will have to do some research on that.
Oh, and you fired him on the set,
I fired him on the sets, and yeah. Well, you know, he couldn't pay the guest fees, so I had to fire him.
Oh. Oh.
No. Mama Set was kind enough while you were moving back to the middle west of the country to fill in, and he did a fantastic job, and he read Elvish to me, and wow. So apparently I will have to read this, but that's interesting. So thank you for the note. It does look like it may be going away. That was my Middle-earth Network, not LotRO players, but my Middle-earth Network was pretty epic what they were trying to do. And you know.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised that it's going down.
Yeah.
It's not like they had no support for that thing. I mean, it was absolutely huge.
Yeah, it was very large. So they're making some changes, looks like. I don't have time to read it right now as, we're doing a show, but we will read it later for sure.
Right.
Oh, okay. They're going to focus on the other part, which is the Legendarium and Shutter Middle-earth Network, which is going to affect a lot of the blogs. Or a lot of blogs, so that'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. And unfortunately, that was a nice gathering place for a lot of fantasy of all genre nerdishness that was pretty cool. Well, Layanor, headed across the country, and you landed back where you started, and I hear you had your first plane ride.
Yeah. It was nice. I got to go from Fresno, California to Dallas, Texas, and everything was all right. Then I went from Dallas, Texas to Milwaukee, and everything went wrong. Turned out that when we got there to Milwaukee, that there was something to do with fire and possibly a small bomb.
Was this the when they shut down like all of the air traffic out of Chicago?
Yeah, pretty much right before I wanted to land. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So we flew around in a circle for a while, and they were running low on gas, so they announced that they were going to go land in Chicago. So they went to go land in Chicago and sat there for a while and refueled, and it was about an hour and a half before we took off. And after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing, except for like the storm that was going on, which was pretty crazy when we were landing.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything was pretty much A-OK.
So, well, I'm glad you made it, and you arrived back, and computer survived, and all that good stuff.
Yep, computer mostly survived, yes.
Yeah, I get a message. I'm back, but we have to fix the computer.
Yep. Yep. And then Skype wasn't working on my Android, so that was my main thing for communication for my ride, which sucked really bad.
Oh, no.
I found out that a lot of places charge for internet now. They charge you $3 for 30 minutes, $10 for an hour, and I was like, oh, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
don't tell you where the router is either, so you gotta pay and then wander around till you find a good signal.
Oh, that sucks. Yes.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, and Mama says you're on the no-fly list, and Zinger says that's because you try to fly with no pants. I'm telling you, those utility belts would fix all this problem, but
I can tell you now, everybody, from personal experience, if you don't have pants on in first class, they will not let you sit there.
okay. Put you at the back of the plane with all the kids, didn't they?
Yeah, that's all right, 'cause they still serve you liquor over there.
Yeah. Back of the plane with all the kids. Well, did you get any LotRO in?
I got a little bit in. I went into PvP just for a little while, and it seems like the battle is kind of like where it used to be about a year ago, where everybody is over on the left side of the map where Grams is, and everybody's just fighting over there. I haven't seen that in a while. It seems like it's been like that for about 2 weeks now. So every time I pop in, the battle's always over on that side. So I'm going to be going over there and getting some renown. But after looking at that, I decided that I was going to talk to the kinship today and try and get myself 2 first agers, which I did.
Congrats.
Um, Friend of ours, a friend from the kinship gave me one, and I sold a bunch of steel keys on the auction hall for like 15 gold each and got 400 gold and bought a second one.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
400
now I'm
gold?
400 gold, yep.
Wow. I don't think I'm going to be getting a first ager anytime soon.
I don't know if you're out there and doing instances and stuff when you see them in GLFF or world chats,
I have
um,
world chat turned off.
turn it on. That's how you play.
No, it's not how to play. Oh,
But
yeah, it was
if
very
if you're doing a lot of that stuff though, you pull in money so fast. So if you're running a lot of things, you'll be able to buy one pretty easily.
okay. I've been questing, and I got Ali of Brandywine to 100 this week.
What?
Yeah, and
Wow.
she's still in Blackroot Vale and got to 100.
You're still faster than Chris.
Yeah, I know, and probably Bill and definitely Harry.
Definitely Harry,
And I'm
yes.
pretty sure I'm well outpacing Golden Star on any of hers. But yeah, I'm still in Blackroot Vale. I have headed to the area where they send you up to the mines and you have to kill the funny looking orcs that look like they remind me of like medicine men from like the 1930s movies, with the big long masks and the, that's all
Little
hunched,
orcs.
yeah, all hunched over and that kind of thing. But the story's pretty good, and I think they're getting ready to send me off closer to Dol Amreth. I hope, because I'd like to get there at some point and actually do some questing there. And that's a pretty much. Oh, and then we did 3 mans last night, which is so much fun. We had a hoot. It was great.
Oh yeah. So we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what's been keeping me busy in game with all of that good stuff, and that's why I'm.
On to the news.
The Tolkien Professor live stream was last Wednesday. I tried to watch it live and my Twitch died. So I did. They do have it on YouTube, and there's a link in the show notes to it. If you haven't seen it, they had about an hour and 20 minutes, and it
Hmm.
was Chris Pearson, which I believe is Made of Lions, Corey Olson, and Michael Drought, which is a professor at Wheaton College. And they all sat around and talked about Lord of the Rings and Tolkien for an hour and 20 minutes. Did you get to watch it, Layanor?
No.
Oh.
I will right after the show's over.
Somebody missed some news.
Sure did. Well, I heard about it. I heard you guys talk about it last week. But I thought it was just Corey Olsen and doing some stuff. I didn't know that Maid Alliance was in there.
Yeah, yeah, and it was pretty fascinating. So I have a few handwritten notes here of things that they tried very hard not to spoil things. And
Spoil things.
yeah, like just in case somebody's listening to this and they haven't like played Angmar before, I don't know, but they decided not to like spoil the epic book just in case people didn't know how the epic book ended up, and that Sarah Oakhart is an evil person. But um apparently the the epic story was like when they were starting the first epic story for Angmar, an executive said to them, "What about a storyline where an elf falls in love with a Balrog?" And Maid of Lion said he would, or Chris Pearson said he went to his office and he just sat there and cried a little bit. He's like, "How am I gonna do that?" So so it quickly morphed into the story that you see of and it is actually a very good story. So if you
Hmm.
haven't done it, I highly recommend you do it. It's really an interesting twist-filled story.
Yep, and the Rift is the end of that story, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, which I have not done yet, which has a Balrog in it. So,
Yep.
hmm but they were talking about how, that magic in Tolkien is not like in your face, and how players want
Right.
to be powerful, and they were he was talking about how when they so they did the lore masters was kind of more of the kind of quote unquote natural style of magic,
Hmm.
and when they hit rune keepers they're like, all right, we've hit this line, are we going to step across it or not? So they decided to do that, and one of the things he said they decided to do was use the more ancient races as
Hmm.
though that class, like the dwarves and the elves, and then you could have it tied to language.
Hmm.
So that's why you have, your little rocks with words on them and stuff, is they decided to go with that path, which I thought was pretty
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
to
it's
see people run around with stones and stuff. I mean, they always have stones in their hands and they do the wooga 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 moves and there's fire everywhere.
yeah.
So yeah, it's still.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. I
But
understand.
I understand. I understand exactly why it's there. So players want to run around and be mages and wizards and stuff like that. I mean, there's a game called Lord of the Rings, Battle something. I can't remember what it is. It's basically um, two armies, one army on the left, one army on the right. The free people versus creeps, if we want to call them creeps, orcs and all that.
Yeah.
And both sides have healers, and both sides have mages like Gandalf and stuff like that. And people just want to play that class. So uh, you got to give it to them, but you got to be really smart about it too. And I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah. They asked Chris what his favorite thing that he has done, and he said he really enjoyed making Rohan a full kingdom. He says in the books it's just a couple of places and a big stretch of grass with horses in it.
Hmm.
So he had a chance to make a working kingdom with these people who had their own reasons for, say, following Sauron, or being happy that Theoden's like this bumbling, tottering fool, so they could do what they wanted to do. So yeah, it was very interesting to hear him talk about how he was able to kind of shove or work an entire, culture and history and more towns into something that was just kind of, Edoras and Helm's Deep, and that was pretty much it. And then big swatches of like grassland
Hmm.
between the two in the books. They did say that Wildemar was supposed to be their homage to Beowulf, which I thought was cool.
Which one?
Wildemar.
Oh
the
yeah.
Wildermore area.
Yeah, if you I said that multiple times while that area was out on the show.
Yeah.
I totally got that feeling right away.
Yeah. I had a note that said even Turbine knows that something or other didn't hold up, and I can't read the word. It starts with an R.
Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, something. Oh, the Rangers. Even Turbine knew that the Rangers were a little bit clumsy and dumb and stupid, but they did that so that because it's like, well, if they were competent, why would the players need to be there? Which makes
What?
sense. If they just send you back to the Shire and go, we got this, go away, that was
Hmm.
kind of funny. I was just dying. I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. If they were competent individuals, why would they need us? Oh, I was.
I would have rather them just like rewrote that little area a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah,
differently.
well, Enithwaith, yeah, no, I know. But,
You know what? It's an old area. I'm gonna spoil it. The
okay.
Rangers go in there, and
And
you get all
lie.
these Rangers. You take all these Rangers. You go find them all. They even do sexy poses by trees and rocks and stuff when Elrond tells you about them. And you find them all, and they're like Pokemon across Middle Earth.
Hmm.
And you
You
get
even
this
get one of
plot
his
where you go
fans.
into the cave, and you go to the ghosts, the Oathbreakers, not the same Oathbreakers, different
Different oak.
ghosts.
Yep.
And basically, one of the Rangers comes in and has a ring, and he tries to act like he's Aragorn and says, "Look, I have a ring. You guys can follow me." And basically, the ghost says, "No, that is a fake ring." And he tries again. The Ranger says, "No, it is a real ring." And the ghost says, "No, you will all die now." And the last thing you do is you run out of there and you see all the Rangers fighting stuff and getting their butts kicked.
Yep. Yep.
I have no idea why that plot is the way it is. I would have rather them just go in there by force and try and reason with the ghosts.
Hmm.
And then it all fall apart. No, we're gonna try and be Aragorn today.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I kind of, I think it was a stupid move, but I could see why they kind of, I want to shortcut this. I think I can do this, and nope,
Hmm.
not gonna
No.
happen. And then they were talking about how many. Tolkien apparently didn't like mothers like Disney doesn't like mothers because there are no mothers, or very few mothers mentioned as alive in Lord of the Rings, or The Hobbit for that matter. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think he had mother issues. And then the other thing that I found super, super interesting was they were talking about size
Hmm.
because they were talking about Gondor and how some of the sizes of like Minas Tirith are going to be surprising. And they were actually listing like, Treebeard is only supposed to be 13 feet tall.
Hmm.
So to a hobbit, of course, he's like, 42 stories. But I mean, can you imagine a 13-foot tall Treebeard showing up at Isengard in the movie? The Deeping Wall was only 20 feet tall.
Right.
The Balrog was only 15 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, and we're talking about Corey Olsen too here, where he actually breaks down the Balrog in a few seminars or classes a long time ago, where he says there are no wings, they were probably shorter, stuff like that. So Corey really knows that stuff.
yeah, and that the Moriador was small. That's
Hmm.
stuff. Oh, the one that we've been the Stone of Eric, that's out there in Gondor right now, right?
Hmm.
Was 6 feet round and half buried in the ground,
Oh.
which we wouldn't even see it. So Chris Pearson said they have had to adjust sizes a bit
Hmm.
to get, because you're also pulled away and behind.
Hmm.
So they've adjusted. They really say that they
They've adjusted it to our imagination.
exactly. Exactly.
Thank you. I kind of would rather it that way, be that way.
Yeah. Rudafox, they did not specify what Balrog. They specified that they said the Balrog was 15 feet tall. They didn't say what Balrog.
hmm
Um, the other thing that I think he let slip that he wasn't supposed to let slip was the Bjornings are actually a separate race. They are not the race of man.
hmm
They will be a separate race, but the only choice in that race that you have for a class is Bjorning.
hmm
So I think that was something that I don't recall having heard before.
I think that was mentioned like early on.
Yeah, but most people were like, "Oh, well, no, it's going to be man. Only men can be this race." And
hmm
but I think the way he explained it in the video was they're going to be a separate race,
hmm
but the only class you can pick for that race is Bjorning.
Right.
And he cannot. He said Weatherstock was mentioned. He said he cannot wait to see a Bjorning band show up at Weatherstock and turn into bears.
Yeah, and they're gonna play Bare Necessities.
Of course they are. Oh, anyway, it was a fascinating live stream. Take a listen to it. That was just some of the highlights. I didn't get anywhere near all of the stuff they were talking about. They talked about I don't know, all kinds of stuff. How, we had to make that the turbine had to actually make a working economy and and make, Tolkien kind of jumped from place to place to place, and Turbine had to actually fill in all the holes to get a working. People had to farm and all that stuff. It was a cute thing.
Right.
And then Rohan went on the was on the forums today, and there was a question about, did we miss some stuff? Suddenly we have jumped from this place to this other place, and are we missing things? And it sounds like they're kind of doing the hurry up and stop kind of thing.
hmm
And that they're going to have separate updates for the Siege of Minas Tirith and the Battle of Pelennor Fields. So you're not going to miss a lot of major stuff. And epic battles will not be the only format for these. They're going to pick what they need to pick to make it fit the story, apparently. But I think he said that before.
Right. Yeah, they've been saying that for a while on other things.
Yeah.
So whatever they can find, or whatever tool is for the right job, they're going to use.
Yeah, and they're not doing the books page by page, which I think we should assume that they would not do that. They're focusing on major highlights, and some of the stuff in the current spot in the timeline, some of the stuff is separated by like hours.
hmm
So they're tweaking it a little bit so that we can have some time to do stuff,
Right. Like the Trouble in Tuckborough, I believe that is the Scorching of the Shire. If it's not, it's really close to it, and
Yeah.
they can get away with it and not mess any kind of timelines up or anything like that. So I hope we see a lot more of those. I mean, I would really like to see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I am very interesting to see if they're able to use the phasing technology for those of us who say have gone through the Battle of Pelennor Fields and gone to the Black Gate and seen the ring.
hmm
The ring has hit the mountain. To see if we go back to Bree and they've phased it to be the scouring of the Shire.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that.
And then it would be kind of like they did with Helm's Deep. You touch this thing and it takes you to post ring, into Mount Doom, and you touch that thing and it takes you to pre-ring of Mount Doom Shire.
hmm
That I bet that would probably work. So anyway, that's let's see. They're hoping, that we all get the story and all kinds of good stuff like that. And I guess the next thing that's coming is the Fall Festival's coming November 21st.
Mm-hmm. Which is Winterhome.
No,
No.
no, it's the Bilbo's haunted burrow.
Right.
Yeah, Winterhome's coming December 12th, like 2 weeks after that. No, a month after that because it's November
Okay.
2nd. Yeah, November 2nd. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm looking at this wrong. I guess I'm in a hurry to get to
Welcome to the
Christmas.
fall festival. It's winter.
Yeah, yeah. Um, we did three bands last night. We did Ivor's Peak and Sword Halls.
Sure did. What did you think of them?
I liked both of them. That was the first time I've actually completed Sword Halls.
Hmm.
We had to back it down from tier 2 to tier 1 because we didn't have enough DPS, and that's the problem I had the last time I tried Sword Halls. It
Hmm.
was a guardian, me, and a not thief,
Guardian, burglar, I
burglar.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's guardian, me, and a burglar. So he could keep the aggro, but between the thief and I, we couldn't burn them down fast enough.
Right.
Um, we did okay once we dropped it to tier 1. It was like, wait, that's it? That's all there is? And we got things of penetration.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's a really nice bauble. I got the keen bauble of blah 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 penetration, and it was actually really nice. It's got nice will and nice stats on it. I think you got a shield.
uh, Potent, dexterous
Shield.
shield of penetration, which I could just run around and stab people with. Apparently, take that!
Yeah. So, yeah. So, and then Iris Peaks is really fun because it's quick and it's got some interesting mechanics, but it's not so hard that you can't do it easily in like one run kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's got some good visuals too. It's not very plain looking. I like going up the mountain and then seeing multiple paths. Like, oh, which one do we go to? And people trying to figure that out. I like that a lot. It had some thought into it.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job, and that's one of that new instance cluster that they did. That's had the 3 mans and I think a 6 man in it.
Hmm.
All right, so what's your vote, Layanor?
I'm going with Peak. I like it a lot. I like Sword Halls. I've been in there ever since Sword Halls first came out. Um, I have farmed the heck out of it over and over and over, especially when a new update comes up and I need to level up. That's exactly where I go to go level up. Um, I like it. I never was really a big fan of it because it's always just been an arena fight. It's over. It's done. You fight a couple of bosses and a couple of mobs, and you get something at the end of it. I'd rather go through a small adventure and go through from point A to point B, killing things as we go. And seeing a little bit of plot or something in there too is just nice too. So I really like Peak a lot better.
Yeah, I have to agree. I kind of felt because we were done, and I'm like, is that it? Because I thought that felt like there is usually, you do something like that, and it's like the door opens up and you go in and there's the big boss, right?
Yeah.
Or there's, some more mobs to kill and then the big boss. And I was like, that's it?
Right, and there's a ring wraith up there, on a Nazgul talking to you, talking crap the whole time for like 5 minutes, and then there's trolls surrounding the whole area, and as soon as you kill,
What?
one guy, one Morval, and one troll, they all leave.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. So,
They're gone.
yeah. And I know, and I understand it's part of the Dol Guldur instance cluster. So then you probably go to another 3 man or a 6 man.
Hmm.
So I understand that that's part of the string, but it just felt like an antechamber to another, because every other one we've done, it's been at least more than one room.
Hmm.
But
Right.
so I'm going to have to vote for Peak too. So it really doesn't matter what Rourke wants because we're voting.
That's right.
But I think he was probably going to vote for Peak as well. All right, and In community, Layanor, I know you have always wanted to have dwarvish lessons, right?
Actually, I wanted to have black speech lessons.
Talk to Mama Set. Maybe he can work with you.
Mama said,
Yeah. They're dwarvish as in Neo Kudzo. I hope I know I said that one wrong. These lessons are based on Tolkien's original Kudzo editions by linguist David Salo. The Kudzo spoken in the Hobbit movie, and that's seen in LotRO and studies by the LotRO scholar. It is a dwarf-only event on Lorelin. It is a secret language after all. So anyone who has ever wanted to learn a bit of Dwarvish, now's your chance. You may roll yourself a dwarf on Lorelin. You're most welcome. The dwarves over there on Lorelin are a little crazy, but they're fun. I have been to RP events and concerts where, yeah, they're an interesting band over there. So when every month there will be a new lesson. The first lesson is October 16th on Thursday at 3 p.m. server time. Each lesson will be about 90 minutes. It's going to be 5 Stoneworks Street, Ulfrich Homestead in Thorns Hall.
mm-hmm.
The event is RP, and thus will be done entirely in RP fashion. One dwarf teaches the other the language of their fathers. The voice chat will be used to learn how to pronounce the words, and it is optional and not a requirement. Now, Lorelin is an RP required server, just FYI. They are going to be made and given by the LotRO scholar. There is a link. I'm assuming that it's going to be changing because it's a mymiddleearth.com thing.
Mm-hmm.
You will be receiving class material via email, and every dwarf character is welcomed for all levels, even if you have never spoken a word of Neo Kuzal in your life. Sign up is not required, merely be present on time. If you have questions, you can send an in-game letter to Ken Dral on Lorelin, and thank you. So, yeah.
Nice. I hope that they try and archive those. It would be really nice to see them do that on Twitch and live stream it for people who can't get into the server at that time, people that work and whatnot. I would really, really, really like to see that. I might just hop on there myself, but if I can't, I feel like I'm really, really missing out on something.
Yeah, it would be cool. So that's it is the middle of the day, which is probably Lorelin is a European server. So that's probably early evening for them.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 letters. Kevin 7.8, I think, letter this time. So he says, after a long and painful journey of trying to earn full platinum completion in the Deeping Wall raid, I can now say I've hit his stride and have completed it multiple times. Yay, you!
Awesome. I think I still need to finish that one. I think I need 4 or 5 platinums, and that's it.
Oh, I think I need like most everything.
Platinum, all.
So now his only goal is to try to fill all his jewelry with gold items, and that should keep him busy for a few years.
Yeah.
He's only gotten 2 gold drops since the level cap reached 100, and he's still wearing one of his gold level 95 items. That's okay. I think I'm still carrying around level 95 swords. I got to fix that. He sends a link in YouTube channel that he created for his LotRO character. He's recorded several full platinum runs for his kinmates so they could see how he sets up the instance and organizes the raids. So he said, sadly, the recording program either only records his voice or the voice of the fellowship members, but never both of them. So he records an audio and pastes it over the video, and it makes it more of a commentary, but it works. So I will put the link in the chat room. The link is in the show notes. And then he's asking, Layanor, have you used the Essence system at all?
Heck no.
Okay.
That is just something I did not want to chew on quite yet. I just got my legendaries, my new first agers. There was a couple other things I wanted to do yet. I wanted to get into the epic system a little bit more, the epic battle stuff, and try and knock out those last couple of platinums that I needed. And after that, I was going to start looking at the new Essence system. But no, I have not touched it. I have a bunch.
Okay.
I have a bunch. My kinship keeps going through stuff, and they're throwing these things all around at each other's heads. So I'm keeping all the essences in my vault. So when I need them, they're there.
Okay. He says he's only gotten it for his main since it's a painful process.
Hmm.
But he does believe it is better than any other armor. And he does like that you can personalize it. So he's going to he made up 2 gear sets. So you're way behind here, Layanor, because he's made up 2 gear sets and one of the traditional, one for raiding and one for more traditional questing.
Hmm. Nice. Very nice.
Excuse me, one for traditional raiding and questing and one for Helm's Deep instances.
Oh, I see.
So he only...
Yeah, we're kind of wondering if Turbine's going to just kind of up and surprise everybody with Essence slotted PvP gear.
They might. I know that this was like the most soft launch you could soft launch something ever. I mean, they're like, we were planning to like scroll this all the way down to level whatever, maybe 50. I think I heard somebody say 50. Like, get essence gear when you start getting allies, but they wanted to see what happened. So it's like, we're only going to do it for like 95 to 100 right now.
It's probably pretty smart, yeah.
And then we're going to see what happens.
Right. I would rather them just make it a end game type thing anyway. It's kind of nice to have something to do when you get to the end game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would rather not see this early on in the game, especially around like 50 or something like that, when you also get your legendary weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather not see that. I would rather see that at the end game because it's just more stuff yet you have to do that you're not going to understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that they keep this at the end. And all that armor and all that people make for everybody, they
Mm-hmm.
craft it. That's all going to go away.
Yeah. They may make craftable essence stuff, but then what's the point at that point? Yeah.
Right.
He says that he uses agility and physical mastery essence on the HD armor. Since they don't attack you, he can safely stand in the middle of the fight and deal out massive DPS that way.
That's pretty nice.
That's sneaky. Yep. He planned to have some more questions, but he got distracted. We rate less than the movie Anaconda, and he'll talk to us later.
Anaconda. Oh man. The coolest looking rubber snake ever.
Exactly. And we got another letter from Manalore on Landerval, also known as Frelorn on Winfola.
Hi.
The title was
Hi.
Must Have Snow Cub. So she goes, hello, dedicated podcasters. You collectively rock. Thank you.
Yo.
You individually rock too. So let's not leave out any rockiness of any kind, collective or individual.
My Rocky's bigger than everybody else's Rocky.
Okay. She wanted to write to remind everyone that Extra Life is coming up soon. We know I'm bracing myself for 24 hours of Chuas.
Yeah.
And you're probably currently working on your Extra Life fundraiser of your own, but do your listeners know that Rick Heaton Sapiens if he hits $55,000, anyone who donated $25 gets a ghost cub pet account wide. And if he hits 85,000, they get the cub that shows off a snow effect.
Oh man.
So there are a lot of LotRO goodies he gives away for a $5 donation too, most of which are already unlocked. So she gives a link to the show note, link to Rick's page. I recommend visiting the page and drooling, which I have done. There are account-wide mounts, titles, cloaks, etc., etc., etc. She's got her own Extra Life page, but you can bet she donated to this one, and she's shamelessly plugging it for him because those bear cubs deserve an existence too. How can we lose bear pets and helping sick kids for the kids and the bears? So go to the page if you have not donated. Please do so. To any of us, it all goes to a great cause, and if you can help us unlock those bear cubs, that would be awesome. I did my donation to Rick. I did. That was one of the first things I did. And I'll probably end up donating to myself a lot too. Yeah. Speaking of which, Layanor, we're doing Extra Life.
Yes, we are. We're doing a lot of Chua love. I still wish that it was something taller, really.
I know it's a small hamster-like creature that looks insane. We're going to be
I already made
insane.
my character on WildStar,
Oh,
and I have named him AK-47. I have spelt out the whole words
four,
and called him AK-47. If anybody has played Star Wars, The Old Republic, the original one for original Xbox and PlayStation 2, you know exactly who AK-47 is in the Star Wars extended universe.
Okay. Awesome.
Nerd.
Yeah. Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue. I don't know. I just hope they give me a choice of pink.
There are no girl Chuas.
I know they're just one Chua. I think they hatched. Anyway, I'm hoping they give me a choice of pink. I will try to make the girliest Chua that was ever possible. Anyway, so yes, please do support whomever you would like to support for Extra Life. It's for the kids, and we're gonna have a blast. We also have some awesome sponsors, don't we, Layanor?
Yes, we do. We are sponsored by GoDaddy. If you guys are looking to make a website or looking for a domain name, please go over to GoDaddy.com and type in the coupon code MMO30 for 30% off of your order.
And if you want to just get your website like awesomepossum.com or something, you can get that for $1.99 by using the coupon code MMO199.
That's how that works.
Yeah, so
I was trying to figure that out.
Yeah, so those. Hey, I know my Middle Earth is going away, and that is a very, very sad thing. But I do know that you can get your .com for your new blog for $1.99. They also will set you up with a WordPress site, and for a rather nominal fee, and you can get 30% off of that if that's something you would like to do. Of course, there are free options out there. But if you're like Chris and break the site about once every 3 or 4 months, you might want to have some good support like GoDaddy.
Oh, yeah. I remember those times. If you're also looking for a new PC, then go to doghousesystems.com and put in the coupon code MMO Reporter to double your RAM when you make your PC purchase. And if you're looking for a new audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter and you will get 1 month free.
Yeah, and then that 1 month is a free book.
A free book on audio format.
Yep. We are still doing our Patreon. Last week we were still at $72. If we hit $100, or when we hit $100, we'll be positive about this. We will get a new song from Harry and Chris.
We will get a new song, yes. All that money goes to directly to the network and helps all of us out. It pays some of the staff, pays for a lot of the things that we need. A few of us need a better video editor, because unfortunately NVIDIA is not supporting some of the older video programs now, which sucks.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of problems I had. Anyway.
Oh, that was it? Was the video? The older video cards and stuff?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So that cash goes directly into the network and helps us out. So if you got a few bucks, help us out.
Yeah, that's small, as little as $1 up to however much you want to give to support us for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would like to email us, like Kevin and Manalord did, you may email us at lotro.reporter@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at LotRO Reporter. You can check us out on Facebook. Just search for LotRO Reporter. I've been posting some pretty cool things, like the link to the YouTube video of the Tolkien Professor. And LotRO has been tweeting and posting on Facebook some very lovely pictures of around Middle Earth, and they're just gorgeous. They also may have tweeted a picture of a Bjorning and not really admitting it. Because it sure didn't look like anybody'd ever seen before, but they're like, we don't know what you're talking about. So be sure, so be sure to follow at LotRO as well. You can leave us a voicemail at 616-666-6778 or use the widget on the right-hand side of the screen when you visit our site, which is LotRoreporter.com. You can also check us out on YouTube. It's youtube.com/user/MMOReporterNetwork. We will be having more stuff up there soon, I'm sure. +1 keyboard may be coming.
We might be having a couple of new +1 keyboards. I think everything's a bit slowed down for the moment, so just keep watching, and we'll be getting some new stuff up there soon.
Yeah, and be sure to follow us on twitch.tv/MMOReporter. You'll know when we go live with the shows. We are, for those of you who sometimes catch us in the live show, we are moving an hour earlier because my schedule changed, and I am now getting up at the 5 a.m.s, which there should only be one of those in the entire 24-hour period, and it's not the AM one. So I need my sleeps. So we're going to be going 10:30 Eastern time, server time. But if you follow us on twitch.tv, you will get an email or a notice on your phone, however you want it set up, to that we went live. And you might see some of us streaming things like, I don't know, Shadow of Mordor, and going, ew, gross, yuck, ooh, I'm really terrible at this. And that.
Yeah, I think the entire network right now has Shadows of Mordor.
Oh, okay.
Except for me.
No, I don't think it's the entire network. Unless
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you can follow me at the Cari-Mac. It's TheCarimac. And
follow me at Layanor, Layanor. I am still kind of setting things up here in Wisconsin, so I may not twitch you back for a long, long time. Fair warning.
Yeah. And, well, welcome back, Layanor.
It is good to be back.
All right.
I miss the show. Oh, I missed your show.
All right, on that lovely note, I think that will do it for this evening. So thank you so much for downloading and listening, and as always, we do hope to see you in game. Okay, I have lost the music. That's why I'm...
On to the news.
On to the news. We'll skip the music and go to news. Okay. We have news. Oh. If you want to...
Cari-Mac, go, Cari-Mac,
go. All right.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOReporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOReporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.